welcome to Elvenly Railways. My name's Ian. This channel is devoted to various railways that I've built and run and maintain. And today the video I'm making is about Ivy, the little, or rather very big engine that I run on my 7¼ inch minimal railway. This engine has helped me build this railway over the past few years, and it's been pretty amazing really. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this video about Ivy. The weather was absolutely amazing, so I thought I'm going to take this opportunity to do some filming outside. I removed some sticks and rubbish from the railway line. So what might be nice would be to do a little feature on each of the locos. So I'm going to start with Ivy, because that was the first engine that ran on this railway. So I'm hoping to encourage the sun by wearing some summer clothes. So for those that are new to this channel, here is Ivy, a Phoenix Hefty locomotive. So here is the first picture of Ivy, believe it or not, after being unloaded from my car. Keith from Phoenix had brought it to Stafford to my sister's, where it was transferred into my car. Bogies were ready assembled. Looking back on these pictures, everything looks disgustingly clean. There were many bags of nuts and bolts and brackets and fixings. Here the loco is starting to look slightly recognisable. And here's a picture of Sarah with the loco looking closer to what it looks like now. And this was back when Ivy was helping me to build the railway. I used a spade and a mattock and buckets to move all the soil. Here I'm giving the loco a clean with some WD-40 and some rags made from some of my old pyjamas. I think that shirt might end up that way soon as well. The lining is just stick-on lining. The handrails are made from wardrobe rails. Dumb buffers made from some old decking. These nice coupling pins were from Miniature Railway Workshop. The bar for the re-railer and the re-railer itself is now permanently stowed on the locomotive. First aid kit hasn't been used yet, thankfully. Goodness knows what's in there. The kitchen seat from Facebook Marketplace. It just needed a little bit of adjustment. In the winter I do find that it does get a bit cold, hence the cushion. The wooden trim is basically just bits of old fencing that I sanded down and put some wood preserver on. That hopefully stops too much leaning and also scratching from blackberry bushes. That's the important armrest pad. This isn't a thorough clean, it's just a midwinter clean. It's only going to get dirty again. There you can also see the brake column. There's the control panel looking very mouldy and dirty. And there it is after a swift clean. There was a key there, but I've done away with that. The emergency pull cord is there, which is very important. That's a kill switch there. The one for the other battery as well for when I'm charging. We've got the MAD and WISE speed settings. The light switches for front and rear lights. The horns. It's about the third version of the control panel now. The kit kind of leaves it up to you as to how you arrange things with that. Here's the reverser and the throttle. With both switches up, you can see that the battery indicator starts to work, and the battery indicator is very useful for a few things. It will show you if there's any issues as well. This is a recent addition of a coupling bar holder, just a little box that I found in a charity shop in town. The lights are pretty powerful and they're also posable. TCP comes in handy, and also some pruning devices. So now we go under the hood and I can't say that I'm very proud of the way that this looks, but it does work, and it has worked for, well, it'll be 5 years in the summer, so it's not bad going. Quite a simple mechanism. That's the relay panel, just there. That's the brain for the whole thing, and the back of the control panel where the switches are. There you can see the horns, one either side. And those handles are very useful for removing the lid. And there are handles there that I've added, which are also useful for very minor derailments. There's quite a few little bits and pieces that I've added to the loco, but they're all there for a purpose, or to make it look pretty. There you can see the bogies. The springs were replaced. I found the original springs were a little bit too springy, so Keith kindly sent me some replacements that were a bit harder, and I found them much better. You just see the brake cable as well. I'm just trying to show you a little bit of the mechanism on the bogies. It's all chain driven. A motor on each bogie, which goes to a shaft in the middle, and then to each axle. But yeah, I didn't have to build the bogies, they were already done. I did have an issue with one of them, but it was just a case of something coming loose and needing to be tightened up. There you could see part of the brake mechanism, which I've never really got to work that well. It does just about grip. Also, here is the connection, the wire connections here to the bogie, and you can see the wing nut there that holds the bogie on. It's the same for the other bogie as well. The only other thing connecting that bogie to the loco is the brake cable, which goes to the brake column. The other bogie, if you undid the wing nut and disconnected it, would be completely free. Time for some refreshment. So this was the first run this year, which was a couple of days ago. I think we're at the fourth now. It is about, yeah, it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning while I'm recording this commentary. Seemed like a good idea. I've just remembered that I've got my battery on charge down in the shed, so I might be wandering down there in a minute to put the other battery on charge. So I've had it charging for about 2 days. I did a lot of sweeping down here. I did say on the last video I probably wouldn't need to do a lot more, but I did. After this was filmed, I got rid of a load more leaves, and yeah, it's looking much tidier than it did when I filmed this. Actually, I don't know if they're off. They might actually be off. We might be alright. Felt like we were, but... Oh, we're okay. We're okay. Yeah, I thought I derailed. There was a twig on the line, and I think what happened was that just the first axle sort of slipped off. But once it was over the point, it was fine. It was such a lovely day. It was so warm. It got quite cold on the night. But yeah, Ivy's been a brilliant little engine. It's really served its purpose so well. And yeah, couldn't be happier with it really. So you can just watch the loco trundle about for a while. Purchased the Ivy nameplates as house numbers. I asked the manufacturer if they do letters instead of numbers, and they said they would. The roof for the loco is optional, but I like to have it. It acts as quite a good sunscreen if ever we get any. That's a full-size spring from a full-size wagon, which was useful for putting the GoPro on. So because we have the swivel seat on here, I can sit forward but I have to be careful not to hit the horn with my knee. But yeah, I can sit forward and I can then swivel the other way to drive it backwards with my arm behind me in this strange fashion, but it's more comfortable than it looks. Or I can sit facing to the side and swivel my head either way in the traditional way. So yeah, it's quite versatile now. Lots of tight clearances on this railway. It is rather a large loco after all. We didn't have a Halloween special this year, but I brought the King out for a little ride. In the high winds, this character had fallen into the coach, so I figured he obviously wanted a ride. He'd been previously displayed on a car tyre, which was in the little tunnel. I think it's all haunted, basically. Here's a plan of the railway that I drew up some time ago. Some parts, I say proposed, which are now actually done. So it was obviously done a while back. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions about the loco or anything else, any questions about the railway, just let me know in the comments. Cheers, bye. Curious.